I will elaborate the theory behind this particular change bands. Okay, so these are the classification of shape memory, composites. The alloy can be there, the polymers, the hybrid, the ceramics, gels, and etc. Because nowadays the researchers are working day and night to just develop their own material as per the need of the system and need of the art. Actually, it is all about the product or the application oriented process. So what exactly your need of your the requirement means, what about the applications? Okay, so it is about the shape memory polymers. So it is about the classifications started with the composition and structure. It is about the stimulus, the shape memory functions, and the net points. Okay. If we talk about the stimulus, we have already discussed about the temperature, the pH values. There might be some behavior under the magnetic fields, the light, oxidation, reduction. If we talk about the composition and structures, so what is that? So there can be some cross-linked homopolymers, the segmented, the copolymers. Okay, so there can be different parts. Means if we talk about the function-based shape memory functions, obviously there are this one-way shape memory affected alloys can be there, two-way, triple-way, and multiple shape memory effect and their functionality. Nowadays, the materials are available which are having a multiple level of shape memory effects. I will discuss it. If we talk about the alloys, there can be some nickel titanium based, the copper based, and Fe based. I'm not going into the detail because these are some the metal based. We are talking about the bio and the organ based only. For that particular, if we talk about the shape memory metals, again that here materials, so we are having our target over the shape memory polymers where they are simple to program, the biocompatible and biodegradability, obviously if they are low in density, and the self-healing capabilities, obviously. Okay, so instead of having that much of the advantages, these materials also having some limitations, because we know that no one can be perfect actually. So the same goes for these materials and the process also. So same goes with the 3D printing also. It is having their own limitations. So to overcome that particular philosophy, the 4D printing is nowadays in very just recently the researchers are working in that particular way. So this is about the polymers and their classifications. So this is the actual the beauty of the concept of the shape memory effect, SME. So the first image, very first image is just discussing about the stress and strain. So we need to target that what exactly the shape memory effect is all about. Okay, so you can see directly we are just applying that particular the level of heating, so that here the loading condition, so up to the peak they are getting here, and this is the loading condition. Okay, when applying the heat, it is just coming back to its original position. You can see it directly from the image. So it is the shape memory effect. If we talk about the super elasticity, so it means that here about the loading, here this particular point, and sharp is, it is reflecting about the unloading condition. So why they are behaving like this, what is different in this particular means the graph. This graph is reflecting about the effect of the shape memory effects provided by these materials. So I will just elaborate this particular again with these different shapes. Okay, so these are the original shape after the processing being developed. Okay, so these are the shapes being programmed. Okay, so we are just applying, means applying these forces over here and there. So ultimately the temporary shape is get engaged like this. It is now just because we have just compressed them, we have applied some tensile the forces over the surfaces, so they get changed ultimately. So what if that it can regain its original shape? Then only it will be proven like the shape memory effect. The concept apply only. Okay. So it depends that what sort of material. It is not possible for all the materials, all the polymers to behave like this. So what is the philosophy behind this? So there are existing various phase changes and the crystal structures in shape memory also. So the shape change effect and the pseudoelasticity are characterized into three different categories for these materials. These are the superelastic, the one-way memory, and the two-way memory effects. So obviously, I hope this something is visible. I think it is not very clear. I try to find some more clear image, but rather I will read it for you. These are the stages. Means these are again the 3D diagram between the stress, strain, and the temperature. So what we can feel that where we are loading and unloading our part, being the material actually being prepared with, and we are also heating and cooling it at the same time. Okay, so after getting this much of loading here, so it gets changed and force is transferred. So you can see the stress is being applied over the surfaces of it. So again, it is just behaving in this particular way when the unloading is provided, and also about the phases, means the austenite phase means just changed into the martensite when the loading and unloading phenomenon being just converted out. These are the different arrows being just provided over these images. So this is about the one way, two way, and the pseudo-elastic behavior. So that is about that what particular sort of temperature we are dealing with. It depends, and also these graphs are for the learning purposes, and they get changed when one material just changed with the another one. This is again, if we talk about the molecular mechanisms of the thermally induced shape memory effects for the shape memory polymers. So that's a beauty of that actually. So what we are doing that this is about the original shape or the molecular the mechanism of one particular shape memory polymers, and up to the programmable means up to the programming stage means it is about the modeling stage actually. So it is about the temporary after getting off the effects where the T is just getting that the T transition temperature. Okay, so it is just behaved differently. And after getting this recovery stage means when the things are again the conditions as per the as earlier. Obviously, you can say the shape here the original shape, whatever the original shape here. So conditions, the temperature values are again maintained with a similar one. So obviously we are getting the same shape. So it is again the shape memory hydrogels, what they exactly behaves alike. So it is about the shrinking and swelling. It is about the shrinking phenomenon and the swelling behavior actually. Okay, so high sinking, low sinking, swelling phenomenon being reflected in this particular with the effect of increasing temperature. Point to be noted over here. Okay. Yeah, this diagram is very important to learn. Means it is about the classes of stimulus responsive materials. Okay, so how we can model. Okay, so always some such questions always being asked means by the researchers that what are these the one way, two way, and the multiple ways shape memory effects there. So obviously, if there one sort of the programmable material is there, A, and stimulus when it is on, it become B. When it is off, it again regaining its shape. So it means that if we are having the dual shape memory effect, okay, obviously, so it means that the stimulus one being applied, the multiple stimuluses we are applying means it is not about that. It may be possible that we are programming our workpiece, our material in such a way. So exactly it can tuned up with the different shapes under the influence of multiple stimuluses. Multiple stimuluses that it can be affected with the moisture, it can be affected with the magnetic field, it can be affected with uh, the light, temperature, etc. Okay, so no programming here means so it is about only the linear behavior. So one by one we can have the different modifications in the developed part. So it is about the similar phenomena, but still it is two-way. Two-way means that stimulus one, if we will apply, we will have this much of behavior, and once stimulus two is applied, so we will again get back the same original shape. Okay, so in this way, that type 3 can be understood accordingly. So this is about the classes of the stimulus responsive materials. Okay. If we talk about the capabilities, what are the capabilities? Obviously, I have just make a highlight with the medical devices in that particular way because our lecture is targeted over there. So just have a look over the slides and I'm just going to. Yeah. So we talk about the capabilities of 4D printing, the philosophy. So it is about the self-construction structure. So it can prepare the containers for you. It can provide the features like the self-locking and safe box. We talk about the medical devices. So it can provide the development of the targeted drug delivery release systems, the stands, the splints, the artificial corneal, the cornea implants, the regenerative medicines and tissue engineering nowadays, scaffold preparation and the development of the tissues accordingly. So the bone or whatever the part being that, get fractured or just get missed during some accident, so they can be regenerated accordingly. Okay, so soft robotics again in the same area. We are not focusing that. We are targeting about the medical devices. So again, the current product research, what exactly we are doing. So aerospace means obviously the NASA is just developing some their own the space chain mail. We talk about some the aerospace industry. They are the means the Airbus and MIT. They are developing some the inlet component to cool the engine by automatically controlling the airflow. So for that particular purpose, they are working with the programmable carbon fiber inlet components. So these are some smart materials being the printed with that and being modeled and manufactured accordingly, so they can be work for that their particular functions. If we talk about the healthcare, the University of Michigan, their hospitals are is working with the philosophy to provide the air-based planes, obviously. Okay, so because in the children growths, the part can automatically they expand up to the double their size as per the need. Okay, so because they are having the changing behavior under the influence of the various the external stimulus here. So this is again about the simply the typical applications you can see. If we talk about the near term future products, the mid term and the long term. Okay, so we talk about the healthcare because our focus is that. So we can see the near term, obviously the tissue with the help of what to say, like the scaffolds, like a skeleton preparation, we can have that. Obviously near future we can achieve that. Nowadays obviously the in the market we have obviously the industrial developments are nowadays, so that they've been achieved. The bioprints are targeted at the mid-term future, and the artificial organs means completely developed part, means it's a long-term future product, means actually when it is being delivered with the 4D and 3D printed parts. So yeah, for that particular purpose I have just that much just found some good video for that particularly, so we can we'll try to just have a look, so then I will elaborate. So it will provide you the features that how what exactly how it is behaving like. Just it is few seconds video only. So it was the diagram. Yeah. So it was the self-folding tube actually, where we have just that put particular developed part into that particular solution. So under the influence of that moisture, so it get changed. Why it get changed? Because of the modeling being done accordingly and the selection of the material, because it was made of the multifunctional smart polymers. So what exactly it was the need? So it is programmable wood. Just have a look. It is again a very beautiful video. The wood is exactly being planned and programmed. It's a formation of the wires according to that with the help of some smart bonding materials. So likewise, very examples, many examples we can have and we can find over the internet. So what exactly these are the courtesy of the MIT labs. So I've taken out directly from the YouTube. They have found some good videos. So they have provided that what exactly they have mean for that. So smart bonding materials being employed, and accordingly the wire being formed. And after having that much of the development of the part, okay, so they have prepared accordingly. So these are the stimulus. Here is the in that particular case was the moisture and the water. Okay, so how they are being behavior with that, and after the application of the heat means they are getting some sunlight. So accordingly they have been banded with that as the desired angles being. Okay. So next is discussion about the recent developments over this philosophy in the biomedical field. If we talk about the tissue engineering, the implantable organs, the skin reconstructions, the bone reconstructions, the formation developments of stents and the nerves. Okay, so obviously the drug delivery system (DDS) is very common nowadays, and also the minimally intensive the surgeries. Okay, so it means that what exactly the smart distance so the instruments is being developed with that particular case. So it's a case where the bone defect it is a okay, I need to have the plane again here. Yeah, so this is the part which get affected, and now we just have to have that particular the soul gel transformation. Okay, so ultimately what we can plan, and it can be implanted accordingly. Okay, so repairment of the defected bones can be done. The printed scaffold, so obviously implant into the bone defect, so that particular the printed scaffold, which is a part, which is the base of that particular tissue engineering, so we can just adapt it that particular taken up for the safe recovery to fit the bone defect. And after the development of the tissue inside that, okay, so what exactly it will provide, it will provide the passages, so the function, the maturation of these the bones will just start developing, and this will promote the osteogenesis of stem cells accordingly. Okay, so nowadays the stem cells, their rankings, okay, they are very common nowadays. So ultimately the bone is not going to worst with, it will be healing up, it is it will be just what we can say, it can be recovered with that particular. So these are the real life, the some typical examples of that. So what is the tissue engineering? It is being the regenerate or the replace the tissues or the organs that have been damaged by any disease or something. So obviously, if we talk about around the year, the 2.2 million bone transplants are performed around the world with a cost of approximately $2.5 billion. Obviously, so there are two different the terms being the floated here, the autografts and the allografts. So we talk about the transplanting through the bone of the same person, it is about the autograft, and we are transplanting through the bone of deceased donor. Obviously, it is comes under the category of allograft. So these are some medical terms only for our learning purposes. Okay, it's nothing that much of deeper, and learning of these terms is not necessary here. The disease transmissions and host immune response are major challenges in these solutions, obviously. So in this particular regard, the bone tissue engineering is have become the popular alternative for these solutions. So exactly, we have already gone through. This is the gap to be filled with that. So with the help of the tissue engineering, the scaffolds will be prepared, and it can be just implanted over here. So obviously that the formation and the development of the molecules and the tissue will just develop inside that the pores. It will be pores. Pores will be provided into the developed scaffold. So obviously it can be filled out with that. So once a while some while it is on the biocompatible material, it is must be printed with that. Okay, however we have just also conducted one study over here with our some master and the PhD students. So we tried to just develop some the these this scaffold preparation, but obviously we are for the learning purpose only. The students have just developed the normally utilized material for into the FDM process mostly utilized. Okay, so those so we work with that particular the strength and the porosity, how much porous they are, how much the gaps there. So obviously, because that porosity is also necessary for the growth of these means to heal up that broken the bone. So obviously, the bone tissue engineering is a combination of the cells, the bioactive molecules, and the mechanical supporting structures. Okay, the scaffolds have the possess some mechanical properties, structure, porosity, biological performances. So various aspects that can be measured, that should be measured accordingly. Okay, so the ultimately fulfillment of the required functions. So if we talk about the properties, again, the biocompatibility, the pore size, the bioabsorbability, and the mechanical properties means must be having good strength, having good flexibility, and whatsoever. The pore size, obviously, because the cell development, okay, there must be some having required pore size. Means interconnected pores with a porosity ranges from 100 to 300 microns. So and the biocompatibility, it is must. Without that, it should not be means like toxic. It should not having the attachment or for the in the body effective the features like that. So when we talk about the scaffold materials, there can be the metal, polymers, ceramics, the composites. There must be some all in the form of the biosupportive. Okay, so mostly we utilize some bioeffective the polymers in that particular way. So PLA, PPF, PLLA, some polymaterial gels, bio inks can be developed. Okay, nowadays very advanced material coming in the market, so directly we can work with that. So the applications again, the bones directly we can work here, the skin development, the cartilage, the organ applications. Okay, means like the PLA, PVA scaffold is used in the kidney regeneration. The scaffolds are also used to cure the human skull defects. Obviously, skull is like a structure where the skeleton being done and the broken part and can be just the filled up with the prepared scaffold, and obviously the cell development can be allowed. So this was actually the work connected by our students over here. It is having we have prepared the different structure with the scaffolds of the PLA material. The different materials mean different structures means simply cubic, the orthogonal cubic material, the BCC, SCC, STS truss, the body center cubic, again the rhombus with 45 degree of angles, the rhombus with 60. So different versions being conducted out, so we can find out the best one with respect for the various under the decided objectives and the classifications. So we also work with that porosity calculations with that formula directly being you can calculate. Nowadays the students are working in this particular way, so at least the porosity we can find with that. So how much which particular the part developed model is just how much porous it is. Okay, so porosity is also very necessary. Always I am repeating the same statement that it is necessary and required, and it is must for the development of the cells. Without having that much of the passage to develop growth of the cells, the regeneration of the bone cannot be possible. So again, the fabrications of you can simply with the help of the if you are not having that much of the smart materials, you can just develop your own the scaffolds only for the learning purposes. However, for the practical applications, there are some sort of biocompatible material at least for must be there. Okay, so with that particular, so these are like the really the developed the scaffolds being prepared with the different structure. As I told you, we worked here with the in the again different 12 structures. Okay, so having the BCC rhombus structure and differently. So after having that much of the developed part, so being analysis with the optical microscope, okay, so it was done, so we can feel that what exactly it is the size and where exactly we are working. Means we have worked with for what particular gap. This is the porous size is just reflected with that particular the microscope which is optically working. So we can make this the strut size, the pore size. Okay, so we can feel we came across some complex shapes. So being distorted pores and struts because of some limitations of the setup. So also these are the real parts which actually we can't ignore. Actually, we can work to precise or we can try to eliminate that. So after the development of that, some behavior means like we need to carry out the compressive stress, compressive strain stress, the curve actually. So where we need to target up with the to withstand the mechanical properties. So here the mechanical property we have observed with the compressive strength in this particular. So three different zones we have observed. The elastic region, the plateau, and the densification actually. So where exactly the part is going to be having that much of high level of density. So exactly you can feel in the starting we are having the this is about the plateau regions. Okay, so it is about the densification. So at the complete kind of crushed. Okay, so we have just applied that much of this means forces, so it get crushed. So these are the different values according which we have connected the various and repeated the tasks for these studies. So these are some observations from their point of view. It is about the porosity of the ranging from the 37 to 78%. Okay, so that much of out of all the parts being means what part means exactly it is the scaffolds being prepared. Okay, so this simple cubic model has the highest porosity with of 78% because it is a simply cubic. Okay, nothing so much applied with that. So the diagonal truss model have been observed with the 37 followed by the BCC model. The BCC cubic model had the highest compressive strength as shown in this particular figure, followed by the octagonal part. Okay, with that particular philosophy, and the compressive strength we started with the 250 to 156 level, you can see over here. Yeah, so again, the examples of like the 4D bioprinting. So obviously the 3D printed, the second case study I'm discussing over here, the 3D printing has made a significant impact of the medical fields. Obviously, especially where the personalized, the medical treatments are important, such as the dentistry, implant, the prosthetics. Uh, the 3D printed has the printing obviously been open the doors for the customization, as means it is a customized specific also, and the person and the application to application, uh, the results may vary also. So it is a selection of the smart materials, it's a mix of that, and also the development of the part for the particular applications. These developments can be further enhanced with 4D printed devices by utilizing their shape changing properties. These are very important. These 4D fabricated scaffolds can also capitalize on natural characteristics of tissue and organs, thereafter contributing to the restoration of their original functions. So the function is very essential. Function must not get disturbed. When what are the cases where it is not going to be disturbed out? So the proper selection of the smart biocompatible materials and the process, obviously there must be a good selection of the multiple, or we can say the multi-material 3D printers. Okay, so actually they can develop with that, and after the modeling and the mathematical analysis of the developed part, it is a very essential in that particular case. The 4D printing of the shape-changing materials combines the merits of the additive manufacturing and smart materials. Obviously, whatever the benefits of that, so it's a kind of hybridization of the two different aspects. Here, the one aspect is about the basics and the core fundamentals from the domain of additive manufacturing, and one is the benefits from the smart materials. Means these are the smart alloys, they are smart polygels. Okay, so which is comprising for the advancement of personalized medical devices. Particularly the safe memory effect of the fabricated scaffolds allow for their autonomous deployment in otherwise inaccessible places. Obviously, because it is not possible to just generate that much of sharp and very fine product accordingly to just inaccessible places, they can be get transmitted. Not only transmitted, they can be implanted also. For example, a safe memory, the tactile the stent was the fabricated based on anatomical data, the methacrylate, the polycaprolactone, the precursor was used as the bioink. So the printed stents can be deformed into its temporary shape, inserted into the body, and then deployed back into its permanent shape. So that's the beauty of the 4D printed structures with a local increase in the temperature. So we can raise up a temperature of that particular area a bit so that it can get affected by that particular stimulus. So what is the stimulus is that we are raising the temperature in that particular area so it can get its original or whatever the permanent shape. So this classify the scaffolds as a minimally invasive medical device. Obviously, so that's the beauty of that. Until and unless we are not choosing wisely our what to say means like the smart alloy, smart polygels, smart materials for the development of these scaffolds. So this much of change under the influence of temperature will not be possible anymore, because the concepts and the fundamental, what to say, like the principles of 4D printing will not be fulfilled in that particular typical cases. So again, these are the examples likely being already published. I'm thankful to that the various researchers around the globe, they are developing at least this much of beautiful creation, I must say, in the domain of 4D printed. So it's a smart drug release system. So the implant the formation, so exactly it is being loaded with that and permanent shape as obtained from the manufacturing. Okay. So it is being programmed accordingly, so it must be in this particular shape, so it is easier to implant. And after having that shape recovery means permanent shape getting recovered, exposed to the stimulus means, for example, if it is a kind of material which is going to be affected or changed with the variation of temperature, so it can get back its own shape. So the drug release, it is being inserted with that particularly, so that whatever the information, whatever the drug being implanted inside of that, so it can be released that particular area. So it is a smart drug release system. Again, it is the courtesy of the Azam et al. 2011. They conducted the study where they fabricated the polymeric containers intended for the direct delivery with the different pattern porous filled outline in the red. So we can see. So these are the structure where the porous, the face is being actuated. So the cell development accordingly can be done in a real time phase. So again, the thera okay, so these are the grippers we exactly being targeted at the different structure being done at the 4 degrees centigrade. Again, the temperature rise up to the 37. So whatever the shape you can see, it's like a star shape, so it can be captured with that particular zone, means when whatever it is being targeted with, so it can be captured. It is being conducted by the Martinez and the Chekhov. So it is again the 4D printed, the beautiful stands conducted in the year of 2016. We et al. One study I found, so I've just directly adapted from there, courtesy to them. Okay, many thanks to the authors, we et al. So they conducted that much of beautifully. Means what exactly they have printed. So again, we have to program it accordingly, because we can't they implant this particular shape. Okay, so we have to program mathematically fundamentally this particular, so the temporal shape is like that. So whatever the phenomenon, whatever the stimuli will be there, so after means the heating to cooling means like, so this particular shape can be regained in a original position. Again, a 4D printed magnetic stands with the magnetic supportive materials. So accordingly, that magnetic stands can be planned for their proper functioning. And similarly, so many more applications can be there. Like this one is about the airway splints. Obviously, it is the functioning like the nasal structure. So where it is needed to provide those splints to just expose that particular area, so it can be planted out surgically completely. So it was out of from the study conducted by Morrison in 2015. So it is directly from their paper. So exactly what exactly these prints being performed, because they have been printed for by the functions of 4D concepts. So we talk about the design parameters for the biomedical smart devices. So it is about that they must be adhere to the safety requirements. Obviously, we can't ignore those particular requirements and the safety considerations. They must be the biocompatible, biodegradable. Obviously, must meet the local tissue, the specific requirement. Okay, so should exhibit the high magnitude of elasticity. Okay, so these are some different and typical design parameters of from the biomedical smart devices point of view. So again, because I have already shown you that particular examples with the help of some animation, some video, but at least for a learning purpose, we can see directly that what exactly is about the effect of stimulus and the effects of the programming. So we are developing that particular the developed part means that it must behave certainly under the various of different time frame and different these temperature structures. Okay, so what exactly we are targeting? We are targeting that particular developed part to just pick up that particular bolt. Okay, so it is having capability to capture that particular under the variation. So it is like the exactly the multi-material grippers. Again, the typical applications, again, because we have already gone through so many the classifications of the case studies under the different structures. The same again, it's a kind of some again the learning like shape memory demonstration of the 4D printed scaffolds. Obviously, scaffolds, whatever the applications, it is the porous structure from where the cell development can be initiated with. A 4D printed nerve guidance conduit, it is being reflected. If we work with the 4D printing softwares and the applications, so the aspects of modeling softwares, the simulation, the slicer, obviously the monitoring for the software, there must be with us, and we have that particular that view that how the developed part can be functionally can be modeled, and it because that particular part is must be developed accordingly to just behave under the influence of the external stimuli. Okay, so we have to take care of these particular philosophies so that we can't ignore them, and they are the typical real time of the features of that particular 4D printed parts. We talk about the technology hype cycle of 3D and 4D printed parts. So obviously, it is about the journey, because we need to rise from here right now to 2000, means 2 to 5 year targets of 5 to 10 year, and these are the targets of more than, which will take more than 10 years. So what sort of the reflections we can have? So right now, as a short note, we can develop the 3D printing in automotive. Obviously, the researchers are working. It is some past data. Okay, it is 2 3 year old. So obviously, it is nowadays very common. If we talk about what are the long-term goals for the domain of 4D, means like the macro 3D printing, the bigger part, the 4D printing technology, the smart materials for the typical industrial applications, the mathematical modeling of that particular domains. So these are the typical areas from where we need to learn with. So it is about the ongoing research on 4D printing in the domain of the different means the considerations, the space explorations, the construction, architecture, the medical domain. So I must focus over this particular the view that ongoing researches in the developing nano robot built from the DNA strands in the form of the clamped cell baskets with a double helix locks, that are only opened when the robot comes into contact with a specific cell. Obviously, they are being kind of well developed, means they are meant for that particular. They are taught with that particular feature. So obviously, they must be behave accordingly. So again, out of that, means as the 4D printing basically is still in its nascent stage, the materials used for it are minimal. So we need to target about that particular smart materials. So whatever the research developments we can say, the smart materials, they must be heat responsive, moisture responsive. Okay, so what about the equipment design, the printed pattern, the hinges, geometry, ergonomy, the mathematically the model, means there can be various approaches. Okay, various the nature inspired philosophy algorithms nowadays, so we can optimize even the parameters of that particular processes and the product being manufactured accordingly, and the development of these 4D printed bioparts can be done. So it is about the time frame structure. So here we are lying somewhat in between here. So in this particular structure, we can find the development of 3D printing, the self-assembled materials, the industrial 4D printing. What is industrial 4D printing? Means like that the industry applications will be explored with the cost of technology most suited for the industrial applications. Means cost is the main criteria, because the actual development to the real requirement of the market. Okay, so what exactly we need to target with that, so we have to focus over there. After that, up to the 5 to 10 year move further, we can see the beauty of this 4D printing in the domain of environmental manufacturing, means the environmental additive for the additive manufacturing components. So it is all about the sustainable additive manufacturing, obviously, because it's an era of the industry 4.0. IoT applications nowadays are very common in the market. Researchers are working. So we can't ignore that particular philosophy. We must undertaken that nowadays to just take care of Mother Nature. So exactly the sustainability of the processes can be enhanced accordingly. So we talk about the market potential of 4D printing. We talk about the optimistic point of view, means the cumulative average growth rate we talk about. So it is about, means like somewhat in 2025 we are targeting about the $200 million. So it is about the optimistic if everything is going to be very fine, perfect. If we talk about the business as usual, which is not perfect all the time, the ups and downs are there in the market. So we can have the growth rate, means like 20% at least. So it is far better. So it's a kind of prediction by the researchers. So what exactly they are looking, that where we are looking to get market benefits, the benefited with the features of 4D printing. Yeah, so again, it's a kind of the conclusive slides that challenges and the future opportunities. One of the major challenges and the limitation of the current 3D printers to address the fundamentally uh, and 3D printing issues to avoid the support structures, obviously inaccessible internal structures, the simultaneously printing difficult, and also the very common the staircase effects. Okay, we can't ignore that in case of normal 3D printing machines. The printing technology need to be fundamentally improved, or new printing technology must be developed. The 5-axis 3D printing is currently is the high interest to address some of these the 3D printing challenges. Another major challenge is to restriction imposed on the mechanical properties of 4D printed structure by the desired shape of property transformations. It is about the future studies should be investigated more, in fact, on the efficient techniques for the application of stimuli. For example, the improving the heat applications process in a thermo-responsive shape memory polymers for the or the methodologies for controlling the moisture absorption for hydrogens. These improvements could also allow for enhanced actuation accuracy. So furthermore, the property change occur as a result of the macro scale structural transformations which may be undesirable. Understanding the effects of a scale of the structural the patterns of a mechanics of the transformation will further allow for more flexibility and applicability. We saw the promise of the widespread use and the future opportunities in this field of 4D bioprinting as well. So the adoption is more necessary. Okay, so we need to conduct such researches in the current structure. We need to make some attempts, at least for the learning of our students, researchers nowadays. So at least we can begin that particular journey throughout. So, what about the limitations, feature of means like the material availability? That must be means very necessary. It must be biocompatible. It must be smart, okay, in various features. So, the practicality and the technical limitations, the lowest printing speed, the phone we have to work with that. The durability and the lifespan of these structures, it is very necessary. The cost and research limitations, again the cost is the criteria. We need to take care of the multi-material printers, okay, so we can produce those smart 4D printed parts accordingly. Again, this slide is about the future advancements. So it can be targeted with the active the 4D means the smart materials. With that, we need to take care of that. The techniques, okay, so we need to come up with some more typical applications. The engineering applications that must be fulfilled, like aerospace, structural, robotics. It is all about that the 4D printing that opportunities. It is about the future advancements. So the softwares we need to conduct with the commercialization, customization, obviously the high resolution 4D printers, the faster and the cost-effective 4D printing technologies, the development of the multifunctional smart materials, and also one thing is not mentioned over here. I must to share that the development of our own smart means materials means nowadays we can just develop our own like is the 3D printed materials or the bioreels also. Okay, so we have to look after that particular technology, that how the beautifully we can develop our own smart materials, and how the different stimuluses are there, so which are going to be affected that particular zone. So if we talk about the global research institutions carrying the 4D printing these the applications global. However, in India, so various IITs or some of our NITs also at our NIT Jalandhar we are conducting. So 3D to the evolution of the 4D printing. Also, we are working with the development of the hybrid the manufacturing solutions. Okay, so at least the development and the compatible structure can be measured accordingly. So we talk about the global research institutions. These are from the domains of the MIT Self Assembly Lab is there. The Harvard Service Institute of Biologically Inspired Engineering. They are developing their biocompatible products for that particular. The University of the Wollongong, Australia. The Singapore University of Technology and Design, and many others too. So many the researchers and the university research institutions, engineering platforms are utilizing those concepts actually to develop their own products, own philosophy, at least to just revealing out the societal need. That is the main thing, that how the society can be benefited, and how the product can be delivered. Okay, because being an engineer and from the researchers from that particular domain, it is the kind of responsibility of our of us that to just work with it over the societal impacts and provide the solution to the society. Yeah, so thank you. This is from my side.
Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation, sir.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to open the platform for discussion, sir. And participants, you can shoot the questions to guest speaker,
Yes, 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 please. My pleasure.
Hi, Professor. This is Dr. Nalin.
or you can unmute yourself and shoot the questions, or else you can chat. You can post your question in the chat box. I'll read it out for you.
Yeah, directly you can ask or in the chat box. Or even
Fine,
my
sir.
email ID was there. I will feel pleasure to if you can send anytime your
Fine, sir.
queries. Yeah,
I
that,
will share it to the participants, sir.
yeah, definitely, definitely my pleasure.
Uh, Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, sir. So this is Dr. Nalin from Messassan College of Engineering, Chennai.
yeah.
So I predominantly work in the field of tissue engineering, basically
Okay,
tissue engineering.
yeah.
Okay. So with respect to 4D printing, so what sort of materials? Is there anything specific which you are
Yeah,
exploring,
it's,
or what you are just as you gave a review of those things?
yeah, yeah.
But is there any particular material of research interest which you are exploring now?
So exactly what actually still we are in the developing phase, and there are various the biocompatible gels, which I found that the for some foreign university, which I have just mentioned into the last slides.
Okay.
So yeah, so they are developing what they are doing exactly. They are just developing and modeling their own and the scaffolds with the developed with the bio inks with the help of the biocompatible polymers and the gels actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So,
That is
what
true. But is
exactly
there
is
any particular material you are working on that would I like to know?
right now we are not working. Actually, we are developing still developing our own multi material 3D printer right now over here for the trials for that for those biocompatible polymers. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, 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 exactly. Even I'm in the touch with those MIT assembly lab persons, so they are developing their own materials. Actually, because of their term and conditions, they usually don't reveal those names particularly.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Okay.
is why I'm
Yeah,
asking because
yeah,
normally
yeah,
they
yeah,
won't
yeah.
reveal
Because,
anything.
but we are discussing if it will be done. I will see everything. Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, thank you.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. One query I think here in chat box, Brij Mohan Sharma is asking about kindly say some research topic directions. Many aspects have been discussed. Some of the practical case study we have conducted right now here at NIT JN, rather from what I found that the various 4D printing technologies. So you can choose wisely your field actually, what sort of application you want to complete, what sort of the application you want to fulfill with that particularly. So it depends that what sort of, if you are just looking to help out some biomedical applications, that will be different. So if we are just looking to prepare some part accordingly to just some societal applications, some having some typical aerospace automobile, so that must be very specific because these are the processes which are very customized and very product effective actually. Okay, so the orientation must be very clear. Then directions are many. I hope that I'm clear.
Sir,
Yes, 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 please.
is there any specific test regarding biocompatibility for bone implants?
Yeah, exactly. Means some actually biocompatibleness is necessary. Some chemical engineering persons obviously. Hello,
Yes, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what exactly I was saying that the biocompatible test obviously these are available. Okay. So what exactly you are like the cytotoxicity tests are there. some what you can see, some the irritation tests, the genotoxicity, so many different tests. So it depends that where exactly you are planting your developed part. So according to that, like the sensitization assays. Okay, so these are some typical tests. You can see I have named a few, like the hemocompatibility. So different, these are the different biocompatible tests what I'm naming. So it depends that what is reachability to the of the test to you, means so sort of test you can the compile.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, please, thank you.
Sir, yeah, question from chat box.
Yeah.
Suggest a book for hydrogel and hydrophobic coating preparation from Satya
Hydroponic,
Narayan.
okay, it's actually it's a domain of surface engineering and surface coating technologies also. But for a name a few, uh, not exactly name some good research article. I think for the learning purpose you should go with that. But what we can say means we should start with that some uh, good research articles actually first, that because so many books are there available on, you can find the online platforms, like one book is there, like the hydrogel synthesis. I came across a few days back when I was working over the preparation of these slides. So hydrogel synthesis and applications, one book it was there. It is available on some online platform also, I think, so over some Flipkart, or I don't know whether it was Amazon, I think so. So similarly, some books you can find, like hydrogel synthesis and the applications. It was a kind of research book actually, I must say, because it was not particular sort of some publisher. It was published by Lambert, the academy. Okay. So you can find, maybe they have gone through. So Intech Open also one good platform. It is also providing those hydrogel and what we are asking, that hydrophobic coating preparations. So you can go with that. Try to find some good ebooks first. Okay, so because without wasting, it's not all the time possible to waste your that money, but it must be, there can be situation that maybe the contents are relevant to your research area or not. Okay, so it depends that what exactly they are offering.